Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mark back in the workshop by Mark's Aquatics. It's miserable all afternoon out there. So what I thought we'd do for this little Sunday video is go and release those little baby L046 Plecos that I've been breeding in the shrimp room into the other tank that I've been making up for the other guys. They're all happy. They've all settled in, and everyone's fine. We've got 10 little babies still, all very happy, healthy. I've been feeding them on micro worms. Their yolk sacs now have all been absorbed into the body, and they're looking fantastic. All little zebra patterns on them, popping out beautiful. So we'll go in there and we'll have a look. We'll release them, and I think after that what we'll do is we'll have a look at my trickle filter that I made probably 4 months back now. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that build, but I made a trickle filter full of Biohome media and for my breeding tank for my zebras, okay? And we'll do a water test on that just to show you how good Biohome media is, okay? So let's go and check out the fish room now. Right guys, we are in the old shrimpy room. There's Mum and Dad and the other dads, all the Plecos down there. Now this is the trickle filter that I built a few months back, and it is absolutely working brilliantly, but I'll get back to that in a minute. What we're going to be looking at now is these little guys, which you can't see very well at the moment. So what I'm going to do is just turn this little air stone off. You can see that I put a catappa leaf in there, an Indian almond leaf in there for them, so if they wanted to have a little graze on it they could, and some would fill them to hide as well, but they prefer it to go into that little corner, which is fine by me. Where they feel they're happy, I'll let them stay there. And but I'll turn this airline off. In fact, I can just lift that airline out. That leaf will probably float off. It might stay down there. I'll just put that airline to one side, and it's going to float straight over the top of them now. Right, I'm just going to fish that little leaf out. Right, that's a little bit better. Everything's out now. It's got a little bit of leaf where it's decayed away in there, but not too much. I can get in from the top there. You'll probably see them a little bit better, all cuddled up in the corner there. One up the top there, and I think we've got another one over that side. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this water out now and lift this tank out, and I think we'll take it into the workshop, and I'll give you a closer look at these guys before we put them in, okay? Right guys, there you go. I've taken them out of the pot. It was a little bit more fiddly than I thought it was going to be, because these little guys, as we know, love to suck to surfaces, and trying to do camera work and take them out into a net where they're so small, with a little ring on the front of the net of the wire, they can near enough fit underneath there. Took me a little bit of time, but I've got them into a bowl for you so you can see all 10 of them. I think there's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, we got all 10 there, and they're all looking lovely and healthy. All the egg sacs have shrunk away now, and they've been feeding on some little micro worms that I've been feeding them. So they've been having a little bit of protein, start that little gut cycle off as well, and all looking very, very healthy. So I think what we'll do now is I'm going to take them back into the shrimp room and we'll add them to the tank. Just going to add a little bit of tank water to that. It's the same water, but just to add a little bit more oxygen into that water and a little bit more warmth, because that heat is always dispersing from fish, guys, when you're acclimating them. So always remember to keep the temperature up as well, because temperature drops away quite quickly when it's on a hard surface. Right, let's get these little guys slowly. You've got to really slowly move these guys when you're trying to transport them anywhere, because they'll follow the water down, but if you go too quick they'll end up staying out the water, you see. So you've got to really make sure it looks like that tide's going out very, very slowly, and they'll go with it and follow it right down to the end. These little bowls that I've got work great because they've got the spout on them. But they slowly go. You've just got to be patient with them. Bristlenose Plecos are exactly the same. I'll try and get some shots now from under water if we can, which will be nice. A few, as you can see them coming out, and I can keep my eye on the back as well, so make sure there's none getting stuck on the back. Oh, I thought that was one going then. I think it was a bit of weed. Come on then. There's walk going back in, eh? Very, very awkward trying to do this. Oh, there goes one. I think they're all going to be having a go now. There they go. Slowly coming out. Sticking all over the place, all over the glass. Last two. Quickly check the bowl. Cleaned. Right, now where have you gone? Now they're all over the place now. You can see them stuck all over the back of the glass there. The old Tetra's checking them out. They're not going to do them any harm. Another one on the glass there. Another little guy on the sand over there. Okay, right, they're all in and they've all vanished. Just like they normally do. I think quite a few of them have gone under the filter there. If I just get my torch and have a look, you might see the older ones under there. There might be a few of the little guys under there as well. There they are. They're all hidden up behind that sponge filter. That's where they've all migrated to, which is nice. Now, what I did before I put them in there, if you can see all the infusoria, which I put all over the glass. Well, not, I haven't put them on the glass. They've gone onto the glass. I made up a nice big culture and I put them in, and you can see them. There's hundreds of them, thousands of them all over the glass. Now these baby Plecs are going to come up the glass now over night time, and they're going to feed on these, and they're going to grow up nice and strong with plenty of live food going in there. I put my little bamboo hide in there, covered it in some rickia. They're going to use that as a tube. I've taken the big hide out, and I've just put a little pot in, my little pot I made up with my shrimp on there. Just a nice little hide. They can go under this nice piece of bogwood over here. I've got the oxidators in there, one each side, which if you're not familiar with those, they actually hold hydrogen peroxide, and they've got a little catalyst in there, and they release oxygen into the water, extra oxygen. You can see the bubbles coming out and rising up. I've got a video on in my playlists, guys. If you want to go back, I make these, show you how to make them, and you can buy the catalysts for about one or two quid off of eBay, and you can make your own. Very simple to make and save yourself some money. But yes, everybody is in the tank, everything's looking nice, and we've got now, I think it's 18, there's 18 in there, believe it or not, all hiding away. I've put some yellow sakuras in there as well. Little guy there on the leaf, there's already one female there, she's full of berries as well, so we're going to have a little colony of shrimp coming on as well, which is going to be also nice. Now then, what I was going to say about this filter is the last nitrate reactor filter that I made, the video that I put up, is people were saying about it obviously being efficient and with it being working and everything else. Now I made this one here about 4 months ago. It's a shower filter, and sucks in from that pump down there, and it's blown up, squirted through a spray bar, as you can see there, all over that media, and then it's returned via that little slide there back into the water, which creates a lovely flow, which we know the zebras love, as the regions that they're from, in the Xingu River in Brazil. High flow, high oxygen, as you can see in the water, and that's what they like. Now that's been running in there now for about I'd say 4 months, maybe around there, not 100% sure on the time, but we're going to do a water test on here, and I'll show you how good this media is for anaerobic bacteria to get rid of nitrates. Okay, and this is why they're breeding so well for me, I think, because of that. So I'll get my test kit, we'll grab a syringe, we'll do some tests in the workshop. I think it'd help if I took some water with me. Right, here's a jug. Take some water out of there. Nice clean jug. Put some of that back, don't need that much. We're only going to need about 10 ml for this. Right, to the workshop. Right, we are back in the workshop. We've got our test water there. I got my big syringe, JBL test kit out, the old test lab. Wouldn't be without that. Absolutely fantastic bit of kit. So we need to get out the instructions of that. Very simple to read on these. Just basically shows you a diagram of what to do. 2 5mm syringes, and then 2 scoops, 6 drops, shake for a minute, and then wait. Simple as that. So we need to suck up 10ml of water and squirt that into that vial. And then we need 2 scoops of the powder, 2 level scoops, 1, and 2. Lid back on, back in the case. Always shake these drops up as well, guys, when you're using them. Doesn't matter what kit you've got, always give it a good swirl around, mix up all those little ingredients inside. And what I tend to do is give it a sharp shot knock down and knock the air out first, and then you can get 6 good drops out, because there's nothing worse, and I bet you've all done it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is when you've set all your tests have been set up, and you go to put 1 drop in, and then you get half a drop and a bubble come out, and you think, oh, never, and then you've got to start all over again. So giving that a little sharp shock down just knocks all that air out, and so you'll get it right first time every time then. So there's a little trick for you. Right, got to shake this stuff up for a minute now. And there is the colour chart there. Okay. Shake, get away, little cocktail on the go. And like I say, just shake it away for a minute. Really happy those little zebras now are back in the tank. Super excited about those. Hopefully we'll get some more next month as well. I'm feeding them up again nice and heavy, so she'll produce lots more eggs hopefully, and we'll get another load on the go as well. Some of the other ones are getting to a size now where it's not too long before I can start thinking about moving a few on. I want to try and keep a couple back, but some of them I'll start to sell. I've got 3 separate males in there, so we've got 3 different bloodlines, and I can tell by the markings on them which ones are breeding with what, because she does mix and go between the 3, so we've got a good mix of genes in there, which is nice. But I think that's about done, so we can leave that now on there. And it says, after you've shaken it, wait for 10 minutes. Right, I'll plonk that on there, and we'll come back in 10 minutes. Right guys, it's just been a little bit over 10 minutes to be honest. I've just been out, made a coffee. New to the old channel there, hit the old subscribe button, would most appreciate that. Right then, what have we got? If you look at that, there is absolutely next to nothing down there. I think that is lower. I don't think you might not be able to see it properly from there with that light, but that is nearly as clear as when it went in. It's just a very slight tint to that. If I put it on the paper there right by it, you can see how clear that is compared. If I put it on the next one there, you can see to that one there, yellow. It is basically nothing. There is basically 0 nitrate in that water, and that is all down to that Biohome and all that beautiful little bacteria which is growing in there and keeping it and feeding on all that nitrate that's been produced in the water. I know it's not a heavily stocked tank. There's only those 4 fish in there and a few little tetras jumping around in there, and it's about 150 litre tank, I think that one, 150, 160, and there's about 3 or 4 kilos of media in that trickle filter, so shower filter, sorry. So it's doing its job properly. It's really cycled through lovely. It's reached a full cycle. There is basically no, and I haven't done a water change in there, no lie, for about a week, just over 2 weeks maybe. Yeah, 2 weeks since I've done my last water change in that tank. But there's the evidence there in the pot. Hardly any nitrate whatsoever. It's absolutely brilliant stuff. So no matter what you hear about people saying that it's rubbish and it's this, that and the other, there's the proof that it works. And that is after about 4 months. It does take time to colonise, and if you're one of these people that's always playing around, this is one of the things that people have problems with is when they first start up aquariums, is they're always in there, they're always messing around. They want to start a tank, they want it straight away, they want all the fish, all the plants, everything to be in there, just as they saw a friend's tank or they saw another tank in the shop. And they want to replicate that as quickly as possible. So they put in too many fish straight away, they end up with diseases. You've got to do everything slowly when you're making up an aquarium, okay? If you're trying to do things too quick, it's just going to backfire on you, okay? And you're going to end up in a world of pain. You're going to lose lots of little fish, which is, you know, which is awful. You know, you're just buying fish, you're putting them in ammonia water. A lot of people just don't realise how these few little things work, that nitrogen cycle works, and it's such a simple few steps to follow, but it's patience, and that's all it is. It's just down to patience. Especially it's worse with kids, because they are very impatient and they want a goldfish, they want it now, they want this, they want that, and it's very hard for them. But do your best to try and school your kids, or even some adults, you know, into doing things properly, and, you know, saving a lot of these little fish from dying, because it's an awful death. You know, the ammonia burns the gills, and then it fouls up the gills don't work properly, they can't transfer that oxygen out of the water from their gills, and it just kills them off. It must be a horrible way to go. I wouldn't like to die that way if I was a fish, that's for sure. So make sure you always do things properly from square one. There's plenty of videos on YouTube to say about, you know, how to nitrogen. I've done them myself on there. And make sure you cycle it properly. And then once you get up to that stage where you've got your canister filters in, everything's done, your air driven filters, everything's sorted, then you can progress forward. But it's patience. It really is. I can't stress that enough. It really is patience is the key. And then you'll end up with a lovely system. Everything will be perfect. If you've got a planted tank, your plants are going to be taking that nitrate out of the water as well. A couple of you have said pothos plants. I've got pothos plants in that tank as well, if you saw them. Lots of roots going in, so that's aiding in that as well. But all plants take nitrate out of the water. They feed on that, so they will take it out. Be careful how you stock a tank, especially don't overstock your tank with fish, because you can so easily overstock a tank, and you've got to be careful. But like Richard said in the message that he sent to me, I think it works out roughly about, it's about a kilo. I think it's a kilo per 100 litres of Biohome. Okay, and if you're unsure, go back on that message from that last video where I made, pardon me, where I made this reactor. Okay, this is the one I'm going to send down to him, and he's going to put it onto a canister filter, and we're going to try that out. I've also got another nice bit of pipe here. Look at that one. I've got a whole lot. I'll show you now. I've got crash bang wallop. I've got pipes from that big, which I can make a super reactor out of. I was thinking about making a protein skimmer for my coral room with that one, but I've got them from that size. I've got that size, I got that size, so I've got all different sizes, thicknesses in a big box down on the floor here. But what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to send that one down to Richard. He's going to try that one out and see how he gets on with that. But I'm going to make another one, and I'm going to put this one, I'm going to use this one as a pump driven one, that little pump that we've got, and I'm going to make that into that, and I'm just going to make that as an overflow one. Okay, so it's not going to be a top on it, it's just going to have media in there, and it's just going to suck in the water at the bottom. It's going to go through that media lovely and slow and just spill out over the top. Okay, and that's all it's going to do. And I want to try that one in the baby zebra tank, I think, and get that one running as well. I can seed it from some out of the shower filter, so that's going to help out as well. And that's always another good thing, guys, if you're doing filters, if you know anybody which has got a nice established tank, you can buy some or get some media off them and help kickstart that bacterial kickstart, all the better. Try and take some and get some of that as well from a friend, obviously making sure that it's a nice healthy system that you're taking it from. Okay, anyway guys, hope you like that little video. Like I say, if you're new to the channel, hit the old subscribe button and the notification bell for up and coming videos, and that way you're not going to miss anything. Anyway, from me and all my little guys around in here, all my little fish, I'll just swing you around and I'll show you the better. They're coming on lovely now. There you go, look at all those guys. Absolutely buzzing in there. A hive of activity. Everybody gets on well. Got a young male there, he's coming on lovely, that one. He's got a beautiful blue spot on his tail. Look, as soon as he saw my hand go up, he was straight after it. And if I pan around the tank, they just keep going, look. There's no end of them. plants are all doing well. Big chunk of rick here up the top here, well, you can't see it in the frame, sorry. But they're all doing extremely well. There's a few things in here which we're going to be breeding, like I said, in the spring. The rummy nose, we're going to do cardinal tetras. I bought some of those a good while back now, and they've matured up lovely now, and they've been trying to lay eggs in there, but obviously they're getting gobbled up as fast as they're being laid first thing in the morning. But they're coming on well. We've got, I said, the rummy noses as well. We've got some harlequin, nice harlequin rasbora over there as well. I bought some of those. You see some, they've really grown up lovely now. They're nice big examples, coming up to about 1 inch long, I would have thought. Males and females there, so we're going to be breeding those. They're leaf breeders. They like to go in pairs and lay underneath the eggs like that. Lay the eggs underneath a leaf will be there, and they go upside down and they lay the eggs. Very interesting to watch, and I'll get all that footage so you can see all that in the spring as well. But yes, it's absolutely mad in this tank. Look at that, a variety of betta, mostly females with some stunning blues in the tails, and all those hybrids, Endler guppy crosses. As you can see, big one there, getting pestered by all these little males all chasing her around. And that's the one, and that's the mum of most of them you can see in there actually. Some of these other betta from this side here, there's a stunning scarlet red one up here. She's absolutely stunning. Some lovely blue ones down here as well, half and half. Really coming on nice. And some of the baby zebras as well. Took most of those baby zebra Danios back to the shop, but I've kept a few back because they were the long fin variety and I thought they were quite attractive, so I've kept a few in there. They're always good for running around and picking everything up. And it's all looking nice. We've got the baby angelfish as well, all down the bottom, hiding. They're growing nicely. Another little guy there. I think while I'm here, I'll give them their evening meal. Chuck some bug bites in there for them. There you go. They'll start falling down in amongst the plants, and they'll absolutely love that stuff. Look at that, raining bug bites. Anyway guys, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I hope you have a fantastic New Year's Eve. All be safe please. I want you all back for the new year nice and safe. And as always, you're all stars. Love you loads, take care, and I'll see you in the new year on Mark's Aquatics. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.